Have you ever found out the person you trusted most was lying to you? I did, and it changed my life forever. My wife, Yumi, and I were on the verge of divorce when she passed away. It was then that I discovered she had been hiding her cancer diagnosis from me. The news of her funeral on every channel hit me like a ton of bricks. I couldn't help but wonder, why did she keep it a secret? Was it to protect me, or was it something more? I felt a wave of regret wash over me as I thought about all the what-ifs. What if I had known? What if I could have done something to save her? The questions swirled in my head like a never-ending storm. I was consumed by grief and guilt, unable to comprehend the magnitude of her sacrifice. As I stood there, feeling lost and alone, I knew I had to find out why she kept her illness a secret. Little did I know, this was just the beginning of a journey that would take me to the depths of my own heart and back again. As I delved deeper into Yumi's secret, I began to unravel a web of deceit that went far beyond her illness. I discovered that she had been hiding her diagnosis from everyone, including our friends and family. The more I learned, the more I realized that her secrecy was not just about protecting me, but about shielding herself from the world. She had become isolated, pushing away those who cared about her most. I couldn't help but feel a pang of regret for not being more supportive, for not being able to see the signs. But as I looked back, I realized that Yumi's actions were not just about hiding her illness, but about preserving our relationship. She didn't want me to feel burdened, to feel like I had to take care of her. She wanted to spare me the pain of watching her suffer. And in doing so, she suffered alone. The weight of her sacrifice crushed me, and I couldn't help but wonder what I could have done differently. I decided to visit the resort where we had spent our last vacation together, hoping to find some answers and closure. As I walked through the lobby, I felt a sense of nostalgia wash over me. The receptionist, a kind-hearted woman with a warm smile, greeted me and asked how she could assist me. I explained my situation, and she offered to show me to our old suite, where Yumi and I had shared so many memories. As I entered the room, I was hit with a wave of emotions. The suite was exactly as we had left it, with the same amenities and the same breathtaking view. But it was the little things that caught my attention: the complimentary champagne, the housekeeping staff's meticulous attention to detail, and the concierge's warm welcome. It was as if time had stood still, waiting for me to return and uncover the truth. As I spent more time at the resort, I began to notice strange occurrences. The staff seemed to be watching me, and I caught glimpses of a mysterious woman lurking in the shadows. I started to feel like I was being pulled into a world of secrets and lies. One night, as I was walking through the lobby, I stumbled upon a hidden room. Inside, I found a series of letters and diary entries belonging to Yumi. As I read through them, I discovered that she had been hiding more than just her illness. She had been hiding a deep-seated fear of losing me, of being a burden to me. She had been trying to protect me, but in doing so, she had pushed me away. I felt a wave of regret wash over me as I realized that I had been so blind. I had been so caught up in my own grief that I had neglected to see the signs. But as I read on, I discovered that Yumi's secrets went far beyond our relationship. She had been involved in something much bigger, something that threatened to destroy everything we had built together. I was determined to get to the bottom of it, to uncover the truth and bring closure to our story. As I left the hidden room, I knew that I had to confront the mysterious woman. I had to know what she knew and what she was hiding. The stakes were high, and I was ready to face whatever lay ahead. I finally confronted the mysterious woman, and she revealed herself to be a close friend of Yumi's. She had been helping Yumi keep her secrets, and had been watching over me since her passing. As we talked, I realized that Yumi's secrets had been a web of protection, not just for herself, but for me as well. She had been trying to shield me from the truth, to spare me the pain of knowing. But in doing so, she had also been hiding her own pain, her own fears. The woman handed me a letter, Yumi's final message to me. As I read it, I felt a wave of emotion wash over me. Yumi had been hiding her illness, but she had also been hiding her love for me. She had been afraid of losing me, but she had also been afraid of being a burden. The letter was her final goodbye, her final apology. I felt a sense of closure wash over me, a sense of peace. I realized that Yumi's secrets had been a sacrifice she had made for me. And in that moment, I knew that I had to let go, to move on. I had to find a way to heal, to forgive myself and Yumi for our mistakes. As I walked out of the resort, I felt a sense of hope, a sense of renewal. I knew that I would always carry Yumi's memory with me, but I also knew that I had to keep moving forward. As I look back on our story, I realize that regret is a powerful thing. It can consume us, or it can set us free. Yumi's secrets had been a weight on my heart, but they had also been a lesson. I learned that love is not just about being with someone, but about being willing to let go. I learned that forgiveness is not just about forgiving others, but about forgiving ourselves. And I learned that sometimes, the hardest thing to do is to move on. But it's in moving on that we find peace, that we find closure. I hope that our story can be a lesson to others, a reminder that love is worth fighting for, but it's also worth letting go of. As I close this chapter of my life, I know that I will always carry Yumi's memory with me, but I also know that I have to keep moving forward. And as I take my first steps into the unknown, I feel a sense of hope, a sense of renewal. I know that I will always regret the what-ifs, but I also know that I will always cherish the memories we made together.